So I'm Ginnie Cooper, and I'm the Chief Librarian for the District of Columbia. I have been a librarian now for more than 30 years, and I've been appointed as the head librarian in a number of places across the country. The work that I do is to provide leadership and guidance for the whole of the library. The real work is about finding out about the community. What does the community need? How can the library help to meet those needs? The fact that in libraries, we make a difference in the lives of individuals and in the communities where we serve is most important to me. You know, I'm a library manager and I'm the chief librarian for the district, but almost before then I'm a librarian. And I've been a librarian for more than 30 years. Like most people who are librarians, I have a master's degree in library science, and I served my early years working at a very basic level in libraries. One of the very early jobs I had was to open up a library in a shopping center in a brand new community where every family had at least 2, sometimes 3 or 4 kids. So figuring out how to make sure that the library became a place that everybody in that family, in all of those families, wanted to come was an early challenge and a wonderful success. Watching kids rush up to me in the grocery store to say, "Oh, it's the library lady. Do you have a book? Can you tell us a story?" It hooked me on doing this work for the rest of my life. And it helps sustain me knowing that we are still making that happen for kids here in the District of Columbia. There are some special challenges in being a woman in public service and in management as well. And as strange as it sounds, even in library work, where there are still more male library directors than female, although that's changing and certainly very different from what it was when I began my work in this profession. I have found the ability to be open in what I saw coming in my future to be incredibly important. Some people are really very good at crafting a path and then taking every step along that path. For me, I've as often taken the next job because of the excitement that was available to me in doing the possibility of doing that work as because it made good career sense to do so. So perhaps I'm not the best strategic planner, but I've had and am having a really wonderful opportunity to do the work that I love in a variety of places, make the difference that I know that, be a part of making the difference that I know libraries make, and move forward in what it is that I want to do too. So for me, it's less about planning what I was going to do and then going ahead and doing it, and a little bit more about being open to the possibility and following what it was that I really wanted to see happen. For women who are looking at this opportunity, I think that openness really does matter, but I also think making sure that you have the experiences that will make you a good candidate, easily identified for that next opportunity at the place where you work or at the place where you want to work is very important. I find that often women aren't aware of the experiences we have outside the workplace that will make a difference. So for example, well before I had a job where I reported to a board, I served on a board. First at my son's daycare, sometimes in my church group, in other places where I did things that I didn't originally understand would make a difference in my ability to do work, both to sell myself to do it and to actually have the skills to do it. And in fact, it does make a difference. So I find it very helpful to be thinking about that. And I think for women who are interested in public service, in appointments, in being able to move forward in their own work, that's an important thing to think about. What are you good at? How do you use those skills in your private life, in your professional life, in your family, in areas where you provide service? And how can those skills translate to allow you to do this job or do it better? I also find the more I can learn about that next step in my own life that draws me, that thing I want to do, that choice that I'd like to have, the more I find out in advance about it, the better prepared I am to know whether it's right for me and to convince others, whether it's the appointing authority or the board or anybody else involved in the decision, that I'm the right one for that position. If I know it well enough to know that, I can help them to understand that and see it too. I think that's a very important piece of preparation for any new challenge or new opportunity that you might look forward to. It's also wonderful to know that for many of us who hold leadership positions, it's more about doing what we do and doing it well and clearly. The more I am able to do what I want, the more I'm able to use the skills that I have, the better I do the job. And that comes with experience and also with attitude and approach. So it's less about, now I have this job, I have to be this kind of person, and more about, here's who I am, here's what I'm doing, and I'm doing it now in this role. One of the most interesting times when you take a new job is just at that very beginning. You know, we've all heard it said you only make a first impression once and you don't have much time to do it. And it's never truer than when you start a new job. So I do have a couple of things that I have found always important. One is a piece of advice given to me by a mentor and friend many years ago, a man who's about 20 years older than me and who really succeeded in his profession. And he said, when you first go to an agency, a building, a library, well before it is yours, you have your area of responsibility, record your first impressions. You'll never have your first impression again, so make sure you capture it. The first place you go to, a library, the first people you meet there. How did that strike you? What was your impression? And know that it's probably the one that that organization is giving to a lot of other people. He gave me another piece of advice. He says, move your desk in the office. Don't let people who walk in see you literally in the same place and the same role as your predecessor. Make it yours. Something that for everybody who walks in the door will mark it as yours and different from what they might have been used to before, will help make that job yours too. That sense of confidence will move you forward, and confidence is something we don't always have in every area. I have found that if I can behave as if I have it, project it with a smile, with a confident voice, with a careful ability to listen, not just talk. Whether I have that confidence or not, people will think I do. And that's almost as good as having it, and equally as important. I have loved living this life in public service. I began my career as a teacher, and then I continued as a librarian, and now as a library director, and I expect to continue for a number of years more. And I think, and maybe even especially for women, we're drawn to this work, and you can do this work and succeed in it. It's a challenge I hope many women will take. One of the things that I found most helpful is to set some realistic goals for that first 6 months. And the goals might be, for me personally, I'll know everybody's name, or I'll know the names of this many people, or I'll understand the organization this way, or I'll be equipped to give a tour of the organization within the first week. I want to make sure that I've got that all-important elevator speech, because even if I'm new in that position, people will ask me about what it is that we do at the library, and I want to make sure that I can tell them very specifically about this library and very succinctly. You know, that elevator speech says by the time you get to about the 4th floor, you should be able to tell somebody what you do and have them understand why they might care about it. And I try to have that ready very, very soon. So in the first 6 months, I set some realistic goals about what I'm going to know about the organization. And I also talk about what others want to see happen in that first 6 months, and choose some of the things that I think might be actually doable together with others, that will be able to actually make a difference for the people who walk into the library and actually see what it is that we do and be pleased by what it is we're doing. It's really great to have one of those goals be something very visible. I love doing public service. I love being able to play a leadership role in that. I am honored to have had that opportunity in my lifetime. And if what we're doing here with this project helps encourage other women to make the same choice for their life, this world will be a better place, this country will be a better place.